And I think the main thing that people who don't shoot weddings don't know about weddings is the amount of...
Oh man. I have nothing against weddings at all.
There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to a wedding. At Memo Films asks, weddings? Just weddings.
Like, question mark? Oh man. I have nothing against weddings at all. All of the weddings I've shot have been really good experiences, but that comes from meeting with a couple before I guess you agree to shoot a wedding. I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't look into. They just look into the money aspect because, I mean, weddings are pretty good money for I guess the bigger ones. But I say get to know your couple before you agree to do a wedding. And that way you sort of know the type of people that they attract and the type of people that you will be shooting that day. Because on a wedding day, you have to be nice to everybody.
There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to a wedding. And I think the main thing that people who don't shoot weddings don't know about weddings is the amount of pre-planning that goes into it. It's really not as straightforward as showing up the day of and just shooting the whole day. There's like weeks of work that go into it beforehand with the wedding planner, with the venue, with the coordinator, with the couple, just knowing like what you're shooting, what's going on, where to be, when to be, how they want it. There's just so many moving parts that you have to be super prepared. There's a ton of gear that's needed beforehand. Like you need just the strangest things like LED lights for the rings and granola bars because you don't get lunch, and flashes and light stands, maybe reflectors, you know, microfiber cloths. A lot of wedding photographers I work with have those like sweat sheets where it like takes off the shine for like wedding portraits because usually they're in the summer and it gets hot, but there's just so much pre-planning that goes into weddings. That's why they're so expensive, really.
And I think it's a big difference between shooting in a city like Chicago versus me. Like all of my weddings have been down south. So down south, we shoot at one location the whole time. We do the portraits there. We do everything in one space. So I feel like there's a lot less planning for me, and I think that's why I enjoy weddings a lot more, because it's really just like one location, one thing. The only pre-production I would usually have is like just knowing exactly what they want, and then if they don't know what they want, I'll send them photos that I think could be nice at the venue, at the location, and then just knowing the schedule. And because you'll find you have to figure out when you're going to do portraits for everyone.
Yeah.
And the bigger the wedding, the more difficult it is to sort of figure out your shooting schedule for the day.
On top of the physical and gear requirements that come with shooting weddings, there's also a huge mental tax on you from shooting a wedding, and you need to be mentally prepared and ready throughout the entire day from start to finish. Of like, you need to keep it cool. You're dealing with a lot of personality types. There's a lot riding on the day, but you can't let that get to you as someone who's working. So I think just being mentally prepared is equally as important as being physically prepared, which is what makes them so difficult. But as long as you can understand that you know how to do this, you know how to take a photo, you're confident in your ability as a photographer, you'll get through the day all right.
Yeah, and what I used to do, I would pitch a second photographer so I could have somebody there to talk to, like if something's going on, because it's sort of like your punching bag in a way, and just somebody to talk to is way better than being at a wedding alone. So yeah.